check, 1, 2. It'll be about a 7-second delay. Check, 1, 2, 3. That's me, right? Okay.
Morning, everybody. Woo, Eamon's in the back. Excellent. Hi, Eamon. We have kids playing with trains on the floor. I love it. It is good to be with you all today. After quite a week, it is good to gather together and to see all of your lovely faces. So thank you for being here. If you're online, we're glad you're joining us in that space as well. Thank you for being willing to be here this morning and for getting out of bed and getting here so that we can do whatever we need to do together, right? So just a couple of quick announcements for you. If some of you, I know some of you have signed up to bring food to the Remptema family after the loss of Jeff. First of all, thank you to those of you who have done that. Deidre has said what a gift that has been. Her parents often will join them all for dinner, and there's so much food, and it's lovely and wonderful. So thank you to those of you who have done that. We've actually extended that meal train out a little bit. Deidre said it'd be helpful to go through December. So if you haven't signed up yet and you would like to, there are some new dates added. Or if you did already and want to do it again, please feel free. Gift cards are fine as well. If you want to cook something, if you want to buy something and bring it over, all of those things are wonderful and helpful. So thank you for being people who surround one another when life is hard. It is one of the blessings of being together. Tonight, Mark and Heather are leading the BEMA podcast group. If you have questions about that, see them 6:30 to 8 tonight at their house. I write this time down wrong all the time. Did I finally get it right? Excellent. I'm so proud of myself. Little wins, everybody, little wins. Next Sunday, we are having lunch right after worship for anyone who is new-ish to the branch. If you want to get to know some people, learn a little bit more about the branch, if you've only started coming and being a part of our community in the last year or so, we'd love to feed you and get to know you a little bit. So that'll be right here, downstairs, right after worship. But please sign up so we know how much food to have. We would love to get to know you a little bit better. So that is there. All right, I'm going to invite the band to come on up. And as they, what? It's just Kevin, just kidding. The band of Kevin. The full band will come up a little later, but we will welcome Kevin up and sing a song. Chris, did you have something you wanted to say about this song? You're saying that later, right? Okay, all right. I invite you to whatever you need in this moment, to either stand and sing along with Kevin or sit and listen to these words wash over you. We'll actually sing this song again a little later in the morning. So whatever you need to do to receive these beautiful words, please, you are welcome to do that. Thanks, Kevin.
I think everyone, we just need to take a deep breath in as we begin this morning and let it out. I don't know that we've sung this song much together, maybe once or twice. So if you just need to listen to the lyrics this morning, totally fine. Or sing along if you would like to. Lost and weary traveler, searching for the way to go. Stranger, heavy-hearted, longing for someone you know. May you find a light. May you find a light. May you find a light to guide you home. There are weary travelers searching for where you go. Strangers who are searching, longing deeply to be known. May you find a light. May you find a light. May you find a light to guide you home. May you find a light. May you find a light. May you find a light to guide you home.
It's a win-win. It's a win-win. They're headed down with Bethany. And we have some words up on the screen, Eamon, that you can throw up there for us. This blessing that we send them with. It's probably a slide or two back before that, Eamon, if it's up there at all. And it is, as you go, something like this. May you go, may you be filled with wonder, joy, and friendship, and know you are loved. So may you go with wonder, may you find and have wonder, joy, and friendship. You are loved. Let's try and say something like that together. Ready? We send you, may you find wonder, joy, friendship. You're loved. We love you. See you later. There it is, Eamon. Yep, a little late, but hey, that's all right. That's all right. Not bad. It was a test, actually. Yeah, it's a test. So it's definitely been a week. I'm sitting here as Kevin leads us in that song, and I'm feeling how tired I am. Just the weariness. The words of that song, Lost and Weary Traveler, was feeling very true for me. And not just because of the election and all that took. Whether you had people that you voted for that won or people that you voted for that didn't win, the truth of the matter is that it was exhausting, I think, for everybody. And then, oh yeah, by the way, you had to live your life this week, right? And kids, you had to go to school. And like maybe you had a rough project or a team of people that you had to work with or a teacher who you thought was mean, or maybe you like crushed a test, or you had a great time at recess. You had to live life this week. Those of you who work outside of the home, you what? Had to go and do all that every day. You didn't get a break from that part of your life. Some of you maybe had a great week at work. Others of you maybe not so much. Oh, and then you had bills to pay and dishes to wash. Anyone feeling tired yet, right? So that lyric there of a weary traveler feels true. Because we're all travelers. We're all traveling in this life, and this group of people is trying to travel together. Doesn't mean that we're always in agreement or always feeling the same way, but we're trying to move together, supporting each other, encouraging each other, listening to each other as best we can. But it's fatiguing. Travel can be hard sometimes. And so before we go any further this morning, Kevin already connected us to this moment that we're going to share together when he said maybe we just need to take a deep breath. We're going to do that for a little bit longer than a breath. The word mindfulness is not in the Bible anywhere. Jesus and the culture that he was in had no sense of that word. But Jesus knew the Old Testament, which said things like, be still. And it's in the stillness that you know God. And we see Jesus practice this. Whenever he's at these threshold moments where things are shifting or about to change, like when he goes from being in the desert, tempted for 40 days, and he's about to move into this ministry at age 30 or so, he's still, we read in the text. Before he chooses his disciples, he retreats into the wilderness for the night and is still. After a hugely successful day when the crowds are clamoring for him, he steps away early in the morning before anyone else is up and everyone's trying to figure out where he is, because Jesus knew that when you're in these moments, you have to slow down and be still. So we're going to practice that together for a moment here. Sarah Jane's going to lead us in that. If you want to come on up, Sarah Jane. In what we today might call mindfulness, what the scriptures might invite us and call being still. So thanks so much for leading us in a few moments here.
So I'm going to invite you to do some things with me this morning. And you get to keep checking in with yourself along the way and noticing what feels right or okay. And if it doesn't, just pay attention to that as well. But the first thing I want to invite you to do is to shift your body however it might feel more comfortable, to kind of come into a place of a little bit more awareness. So you could cross legs, you could even move to the floor. I've been craving a lot of time on the ground this week. I even kind of want to do it now. But shift however it feels right for you, and then bring your eyes to whatever level of comfort you feel in this moment. So that might be just softening the gaze and looking down, or it might be closing the eyes completely. And start to find your breath here. No need to shift it in any way. Just notice the breath. And maybe this week you felt anxiety or fear, or you were aware of that in other people. And that's a really, really powerful energy, emotion activation. And it launches us into the future and gets us to think of all of these scenarios that could be possible. But today we're going to take some of that activation and we're going to use it to consider what else might also be possible. So not just imagining all the worst case scenarios, but imagining what else could become true, what else we could encounter, what else we could dream forward into the future. So as you're here, breathing the breath and settling in, maybe ask yourself that question: what is it that I'm longing to see more of in the coming days? That might be hope. That might be love, trust, peace. Whatever that is for you, I want you to bring that word that you've identified and kind of focus it in the heart area of your body. So you can imagine if you need to, like if you had a little Post-it note with that word over the heart area, or if that word kind of is just landing on that space in the body. And then start to focus your breath in that area of your being. So imagining as you're breathing the breath in that it's going to that area, that heart center, and it's taking in what it is you long for. And then as you exhale, that you're sending out. And we'll be here for just a little bit of time, continuing to breathe the breath in, sending it to that heart area. And breathe the breath out, releasing out what it is that we hope to see more of. You might start to even imagine this widening of this. So instead of just in the heart area, you start to feel it fill up the body and move out of the body into the room. Perhaps you imagine it even coming in contact with the others that are around you, the folks in this neighborhood, the people in our community. Knowing that as we move into the coming days, we have no idea what they're going to hold, but we can always come back to this posture where we reconnect with our intention of what we hope to see more of and how we can take that in for ourselves and we can send it out, right? It's this ebb and flow, this cycle. There's an abundance. There is not a scarcity of these things. So breathing the breath in one more time through the nose, as deep as you can send it into the body. And then as you exhale, letting that out through your mouth. I'm going to invite you to slowly bring awareness back to the fingers, back to the feet. Flutter the eyes open if they were closed. May it be so.
Thank you. So this morning, we're going to follow a pattern that is not unfamiliar. If you've been at the branch for a period of time, you've heard us even a couple weeks ago use this pattern of praise and protest and petition. We're, though, this week going to do the scandalous and we're going to flip it. I mean, it's unimaginable that we would change it, but we're going to flip it and start with petition. What do we need? And then into protest, and we're going to end with praise and gratitude. To get us started in this thought of petition, Katie's going to come on up and read a passage from Matthew 4, which is Jesus being tempted. I had referred to that just a moment ago. So let's take a listen to these words, and then I'll chat about them for just a moment.
Matthew 4, 1 through 11. Then Jesus was led by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted there by the devil. For 40 days and 40 nights he fasted and became very hungry. During that time the tempter came and said to him, "If you are the Son of God, tell these stones to become loaves of bread." But Jesus told him, "No. The scriptures say, people do not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of God." Then the tempter took him to the holy city, Jerusalem, to the highest point of the temple. and said, "If you are the Son of God, jump off. For the scriptures say, he will order his angels to protect you, and they will hold you up with their hands, so you won't even hurt your foot on a stone." Jesus responded, "The scriptures also say, you must not test the Lord your God." Next, the tempter took him to the peak of a very high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their glory. "I will give it all to you," he said, "if you will kneel down and worship me." "Get out of here, Satan," Jesus told him, "for the scriptures say, you must worship the Lord your God and serve only him." Then the tempter went away, and angels came and took care of Jesus.
Thanks, Katie. Appreciate it. So, Jesus spends 40 days in the desert, and those 40 days of stillness culminate with these temptations that we just read. And when you think about these temptations, I hope that you can hear and see in them how relatable they are. That this isn't just a story about Jesus having to go through this thing, and it's interesting to watch him go through it, but that these temptations are very much relevant to you and me, really most every day of our lives, because they are temptations towards things that we all know quite well, or want to perhaps know, like power and safety and accumulation, having it all, The first temptation is to Jesus that you can be powerful, turn the stone into bread. You can be powerful if you rely on yourself. You can be safe, jump off this building, you won't be hurt at all. You can be safe if you put God to the test. And you can have it all. All the kingdoms of the earth are yours if you will worship me. These temptations are with us every day. Sometimes they're subtle. Often they're subtle. Sometimes they're explicit. But they're constant, regardless of how loud or soft they might be. That first one, that you can be powerful, is a deeply American idea. That you are a rugged individual who, doggone it, if you work hard enough, can turn a stone into bread. Right? You're not weak. You're not diminishing. Take power. Take control. Does this sound familiar? Or you can be safe. You might have to take matters into your own hands. You might even have to be violent if necessary. But you don't have to be afraid. Because again, you're powerful. And you can have it all, that third temptation. Everything can be yours. It can all be great again if you worship me. And this temptation, I think we especially are prone to in an election season, when we believe that a person or a party or a technocrat, someone can save us. Someone has all of the answers. Someone can rescue us. That temptation is really, really strong. And I think it pulls at us just as it pulled at Jesus. They pull at us no matter who sits in the Oval Office, They pull at us no matter who sits on our school board. They are constantly trying to woo us. They beckon to us. They sing to us. Be powerful. Rely on yourself. Have it all. Chase after it. Trust in whoever you must. These temptations are with us every day. And I think regardless of how this election or any election turns out, the call for those who follow Jesus is to follow Jesus. That doesn't change. Whether you're person won or lost, whether you're happy or sad today, the call is the same for those who profess Christ. Follow him. Walk in his steps. Use his example for your life. And what does Jesus do here? He manages to resist these temptations. Instead of trying to accumulate everything for himself, to trust himself, he trusts God. And he uses whatever power he has to love those who are forgotten, those who are on the margins, those who are poor, the vulnerable. So how did he do that? Well, again, he was still for 40 days in this instance. How did he resist those temptations? He was prayerful and reflective and open, and he rooted himself in deep and true things. And then that interesting line at the end, that after the temptations were over, angels came and took care of him. God sends help to Jesus to restore and to renew him. And so as we try to be people who resist these temptations, as we try to be people who follow in the footsteps of Jesus and love in the way that he loved, this expansive, inclusive, endless love, as we try to do that in our lives, we are going to need help. Every one of us will need help. We can't turn the stones into bread by ourselves. And so, an invitation here to consider this question, what do you need? And to perhaps go a step further than just kind of naming it yourself, but to write it down. We do this sometimes here at the branch. This will take you to a Google Doc where you can anonymously, just to be clear, there's no name that we're asking you to submit. No name shows up when you head here. But we often invite people to take a step like this because there's something important, I think, about moving a thought or a conviction that we have from here kind of out into the tangible, real world. It makes it perhaps more real in a way. So let me give you a moment. If you'd like to record it here, if you would rather just keep it somewhere else, do that. But to take a moment to name what it is that you might need. How might the angels of God need to show up and care for you today? In the stillness, what are you noticing that you are lacking? And can we be humble enough to name those things here together? No need to feel like you have to stop doing that. I want to invite the full band now to come on up. They're going to lead us in a song that really is just an extension of all of this. The title of this song is Open Up. And I think that's a really apt phrase for us to kind of carry and to try and hold here. Can we remain people who are open? It's easy to be closed in the grief or in the anger or in the frustration. It's even easy to be closed in kind of the winning if your person won, your person's won. And can we stay open to each other? Can we stay open to love? That's what this song is about. Again, like we did with that first song, we invite you to stand if you'd like to stand. We invite you to remain seated if you'd prefer to do that. But we'll sing here these words together.
And you came down. Freely you gave us your love. Showing us how. Make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is darkness, let me shine light. May your love cause us to open up, cause us to open up our hearts. And may your light cause us to shine so bright that we bring hope into the dark. And all that we do without love, it means nothing. Grant us the courage to give. And as you're calling, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is darkness, let me shine light. May your love cause us to open up, cause us to open up our hearts. May your light cause us to shine so bright that we bring hope into the dark. Hope for the hopeless, your love is. And strength in our weakness, your love is. And may we love as you love. Hope for the hopeless, your love is strength in our weakness, your love is. May we love as you love. May we love as you love. And may we love as you love.
You can have a seat. That is one of my favorite songs that we sing together at the branch. Because it reminds me, that even when it's hard to keep your heart open, that there's goodness, that there's love coming, that there's something on the other side of hard and hurt and pain, right? I'll be honest with you. I said to Chris earlier this week, I don't want to sing that song this week because it's hard and it hurts to keep your heart open sometimes when things are not going the way you want them to go and not going the way that you think goodness should go. So it's good to sing that song. It's good to hear you sing that song to me today. I can sing it a little bit today. We're in a bit of a better place today, but I think it's also really, really important to name what's wrong, right? It's good to name the things, to actually give words to what's wrong and not just get caught up in, I feel like everything is awful, right? There are multiple psalms that do this. It's all over the scripture where people are lamenting and crying out and saying, God, this is not okay. What are you doing? There is, Katie's going to come up and read another psalm here, or another passage. It's Psalm 13. And it's hard because it's lament. It says, how long, O Lord, will you forget me and look the other way? How long do I have to stay in anguish? Where are you? When are you going to show up? But then there's this turn at the end that says, I will trust in your unfailing love, because I know that that's true too. So listen to Katie read the Message translation of this psalm. Thanks, Katie.
Psalm 13. Long enough, God. You've ignored me long enough. I've looked at the back of your head long enough. Long enough I've carried this ton of trouble, lived with a stomach full of pain. Long enough my arrogant enemies have looked down their noses at me. Take a good look at me, God, my God. I want to look life in the eye, so no enemy can get the best of me or laugh when I fall on my face. I've thrown myself headlong into your arms. I'm celebrating your rescue. I'm singing at the top of my lungs. I'm so full of answered prayers.
I'm celebrating your rescue. It's not because the rescue has happened. It's because David, who wrote this psalm, knows that the rescue is on the other side. There is goodness, there is wholeness, there is shalom. And that's what we do when we name the things that are wrong. We say, this is not right. This is not how the world should be. This is not how love should be. This is not where love is present. How about that? But we name these things, and we feel them so hard because we know there's better, because we know there's goodness, there's love, there's wholeness, and there's flourishing. It is possible. So I invite you again to open up your phone or whatever you have with you and go to this Google Doc and name the things that are not as they should be this week, this moment in your life, in the world around us, wherever those things are. Name those things that are true. Give voice to them so that we can do something about them, so that we can let them out a little bit. So I invite you to do that in the next couple of minutes. Again, feel free to keep writing and come back to this as you need to this week. If you need to write something in there this week that is helpful for you to just name it, feel free. Hold on to that Google Doc and keep filling it in. I'm going to invite the band to come back up one more time. They're going to sing a song that is true and honest about lament and about naming what is wrong and what is true. This one in particular, the verses talk about that power and violence and greed. But then the chorus switches to, hear our prayer. Love will overcome. Hear our prayer. Love will find a way. Thanks, you guys.
Again, this is a song I don't think that we have sung together before, and I just wanted to sing through the chorus to get you a little familiar with it before we go through and sing the whole thing. So the chorus goes like this.
Hear our prayer, hear your people, turn our hearts to you, make us whole again. hear our prayer and hear your people, and turn our hearts to you, make us one.
So at least you can sing that part with us and listen to the rest of the lyrics as well.
Systems of oppression fueled by hate, held up by a lie we can't escape. Humanity, a history of tragedy. Does it have to be the future of us all? And hear our prayer, hear your people, turn our hearts to you, make us whole again. Hear our prayer, hear your people, turn our hearts to you, make us one. Violence, power, struggle, fear, and shame. Will the story always be the same? Can we ever be the people we were meant to be? Does it have to be the future of us all? Hear our prayer and hear your people, and turn our hearts to you and make us whole again. Hear our prayer and hear your people, and turn our hearts to you and make us one. Our hearts so love can start to heal the pain, and open our hearts so love can start to heal the pain. Love shall overcome. Our 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 love shall overcome. Love shall overcome.
I hope we sing that again. That is, to me, a good song. By the way, the songs we're singing this morning all happen to come from one artist, The Brilliance. And if you're not familiar with them, I would invite you to look them up. They're unfortunately one of the few. There are not enough people writing music that is honest today and also faithful, in my humble opinion. I would like more people to be writing that kind of music. And they, I think, are one of those bands. So if you need a little bit of music this week to help you out, you can check out The Brilliance. So we're doing this hard work of doing self-reflection this morning, because what is so easy to do this week? Have you felt this? It is so easy this week to blame. Figure out who's to blame for your candidate losing, your party underperforming, overperforming. Overperforming would not be blame, but it would be like, who can we point to? And we're always trying to look kind of elsewhere. And I think the work, the hard work, is to look in. So we're trying to give space for that this morning. And our last kind of piece, we've done protest and we've done petition, and now it's praise, beauty, gratitude. And we're going to have some help here. So we have some people who are going to pass out something beautiful to you. Come on in, yeah. As a couple of branch kids come back, they're going to make their way around, and we have more than enough flowers for everybody to have one. And I'd invite you to maybe go crazy and grab a few this week. And as you kind of hold these flowers, let me invite you to smell them and feel them. Study them for a moment. Katie's going to read a passage in which Jesus tells us to do precisely that. And so as these flowers are coming around, she'll read these verses from Matthew 6, and then we'll have a few minutes to reflect together.
Verses 27 to 34 from the Message. Has anyone, by fussing in front of the mirror, ever gotten taller by so much as an inch? All this time and money wasted on fashion, do you think it makes that much difference? Instead of looking at the fashions, walk out into the fields and look at the wildflowers. They never primp or shop, but have you ever seen color and design quite like it? The 10 best dressed men and women in the country look shabby alongside them. If God gives such attention to the appearance of wildflowers, most of which are never even seen, don't you think he'll attend to you, take pride in you, do his best for you? What I'm trying to do here is to get you to relax, to not be so preoccupied with getting so you can respond to God's giving. People who don't know God and the way he works fuss over these things. But you know both God and how he works. Steep your life in God reality, God initiative, God provisions. Don't worry about missing out. You'll find all your everyday human concerns will be met. Give your entire attention to what God is doing right now, and don't get worked up about what may or may not happen tomorrow. God will help you deal with whatever hard things come up when the time comes.
Thanks again. Yeah. Everybody has one? Yeah? What do you notice about the flowers that's in your hand? And if you're at home, we couldn't, hand you a flower, but I'm sure there's something of beauty near you or out a window, and I'd invite you to look and find something for a moment. For those who are here in this room, what do you notice about these flowers that you hold in your hand? They're not perfect, and yet they're beautiful, Teresa says. They come out in the gloomiest part of the year? Yeah. Yep, these are mums. They're fall flowers, a unique flower that for the fall. Yeah, that's a nice idea. They show up when it's gloomy. Yeah, Sydney. Each one is different. Yeah, they're not all exactly the same. Dale, what did you notice? Were you going to say something? They're fall flowers. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, some of you have like one stem, but many, many blossoms, all connected. Thanks, Alyssa. Yeah. Intricate details and textures. If we, even the ones with solid color are not really even solid. Yeah. Yeah. They do. They all smell great. You're right. No allergic reactions happening so far. That's good. Jesus says, look at the birds. We talked about that last week. And he says, look at the lilies, look at the flowers of the field. And there's a reason. Yeah, Sydney. Interesting. They look like they might be pointy or sharp, and it's not true when you allow yourself to get close to them. Yeah. Thanks. So, how might these flowers inspire gratitude? How might they help us think of other things that are beautiful? So think back on this week for a moment, or how you are feeling right now, or who comes to your mind right now, and what are you grateful for? Where have you seen beauty? What comes to mind? Yeah, Katie.
I went to an event on Friday for Lansing churches that have been paying out reparations.
Interesting. You went to an event on Friday, a group of Lansing churches who are paying out reparations, and it was beautiful to you. Yeah, that's amazing.
Mine, I think, comes with a lot of protest and petition first, but in the end, my daughter's.
Yeah. Elena is here today. Yeah. Back from Phoenix, and that's a story of both challenge and yet also somehow beauty and gratitude. Kevin's grateful for Zeke and JP. Are you guys grateful for him? You want to add to that? Or okay, yeah.
No pressure.
Well, honestly, Kevin, when I got asked last minute to help with the kids this morning, I looked at the volunteers and saw that Clarence and Elsa were going to be downstairs. And honestly, that was one of the reasons I said yes. Like, I don't get to see those guys anymore really that much because they're big. And I like being with them. And the other kids that were down there too, we had a great time. But I'm with you, Kevin. We got great students.
Yep, some of the best. Yeah, incredible young people. And I'm so grateful that they feel safe and empowered enough to join in and to give what they have. Nolan was here early, as he is often, helping make the cafe come together and communion come together. Every week, there are young people contributing meaningfully to our life, And that's a huge gift. Yeah. And a thing of beauty. Yeah, Nate.
Thursday night, I traveled to Holland, Michigan, and I was with a group of people who were representative of a lot of different churches from that county. And the thing that struck me after the week we had had was how a group of people could come together and celebrate that, like doing what Jesus said in Matthew 25 of visiting people who are in jail.
Mm.
Lives were changed in a really impactful way.
Mm.
People who were caught in a cycle of incarceration,
Mm.
struggled with substance use disorder, and had just a lot of quote-unquote strikes against them.
Mm.
They emerged from that with a sense of hopefulness and lived to tell the story. And so I just was so encouraged that people can come together around good things.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, thanks. I should have handed you a microphone because that's a lot to try and repeat back for the people online, but I'll just say that Nate was with a group of people who came together, a group of varied people from different places and presumably backgrounds, but they were united around a shared goal of love, loving people who are often forgotten. Yeah. Thanks, Nate. Look at the birds, friends. Look at the flowers. Be people who notice the beauty around you. That is so important anytime, but especially perhaps when you are feeling the weight of your life or the weight of this world. Slow down and notice. It's so important. We're going to try and slow down here for a moment and notice this gift of this table. Slow down and notice its beauty. Slow down and taste. I would invite you to eat slowly today. Slow down and drink. Slow down and walk to the table. Slow down and walk back to your seat. Slow down and sit and wait until we eat and drink it together. Let's be slow here. And just continue to pay attention to where beauty may be and how God might show up and bless us. To share this meal, of course, I need some folks to help. You know the drill. And so anybody who is willing and able would love to have you. Anyone is welcome to do this, by the way. There's no class or requirement. This is an act of service in serving this meal. And so we invite anybody who would like to do that to do that. You both want to head to the back? Since you're here early, you can get a head start. Thank you so much. You'll notice I need a few more people. Yeah, okay, there we go. And there they are. Lovely, lovely. Hi, Hazel. Are you going to help today? That'd be great. What do you think would be best for her? Which one? Yeah? Okay. There you go. Joan, you want to stand right here too? And friends, these are the gifts of God for the people of God, and they are for anyone who is hungry and thirsty for grace, for truth, for forgiveness, for beauty. And so we invite you to come and take and eat. This is spiritual food. Christ promises to meet us in this food. Mysteriously, in a way unexplainably, and yet still in a very real way, Christ is here with us. So we take and eat, remembering that promise. It's quite beautiful, isn't it? The color. Notice the color, the smell, and the taste, of course. These gifts. Just reminding us that God is good and generous, so we take and drink remembering those things. We'll pass this basket around. Put your empty cup in there. And Kevin and JP and Zeke are going to come back up and they're going to lead us in that song again that we sang at the very end. Maybe find a light. Oh, you don't want? Oh, are you sure? This is a song that we sang at the beginning, that Kevin sang at the beginning. But now maybe you know it a little bit. And so I invite you to stand and join in, and at the very least receive these words as a gift to you this morning.
Lost and weary traveler, searching for the way to go. Stranger, heavy-hearted, longing for someone you know. May you find a light. May you find a light. May you find a light to guide you home. There are weary travelers searching everywhere you go. Strangers who are searching, longing deeply to be known. May you find a light. May you find a light. May you find a light to guide you home. May you find a light. May you find a light. May you find a light to guide you home.
As you travel this week, may in fact that be true. May you know the light of Christ. God's love, God's mercy, God's forgiveness, God's inclusion, God's joy. May those things be things you know this week. And as you experience them for yourself, because you've stopped to look at the flowers or the birds, may you then be people who give those things away. Amen. Thanks for being here, everybody.